Here we go. This is still week 12, Friday, day 23. TechDen Tuesday, Unreal Engine and Blender. Have you scheduled for spring? Networking. We reviewed a little bit. We talked about change in the beginning of the year, grit, persevering, drive, mastery, purpose, autonomy, and metacognition. Think about how you think. This should lead to a little more, believe it or not, they call it deep learning. You not only do the work, but you try to understand the purpose and reasoning behind it and dig in a little deeper to fully understand it. That's what we're here at college for, is to learn. Alright. TCPIP. We got the application layer. A lot of examples. PuTTY, terminal, secured shell, telnet, serial connections, browsers, HTTP, HTTPS, email, simple mail transfer protocol, POP, IMAP. Talk about data, transport layer, creating segments, putting with that some kind of port number. We get a socket, get an IP and a port number. This would be a destination. And we'd also have a source up here. TCP, reliable, retransmit, sequence, flow control. UDP, we just, like streaming, we just send it. Internet layer, add IP addressing, and then network access. How we access the network. And that very well could be, right, a MAC address inside a switch. Layer 2 switch, or an AP access point. That was actually a pretty good slide. So we built our own little networks down here, 22, 23, 24. And then we connected all of those three up here to a cloud on the IT side, 172.20.01 network. And that connects into NIAC into the internet. Reviewed some commands. Brief, route, show CDP neighbors. We talked about the IP addressing. Here's a little example of scaling. We have switches connected to multiple locations. Scaling and redundancy. Okay. Now we're rolling. So this must be week 13, day 24. Networking. Gave the students a practice, skills-based. They got routers and switches. And then also, skills-based, they have a packet tracer to do. Course topics, they should finish chapter 9 by Thanksgiving, which is the transport layer. And we want to do the chapter 6 beta. Transport network, data link, physical. Note, and go back. We did the tech den on Tuesday, on the 20th. This is the 19th, so it was the next day. Both went well. Riley Dirksen presented. Talk about some of these upper layer protocols. HTTP, HTTPS, secured shell, telnet, email, ICMP. More about the transport layer. We divide up into segments, keep track of the segments, and we identify the app. Port number, sequence number, segments the right size in order for us to transmit them. TCP is reliable. We have flow control. We have this window. We can put so much in a window and send it. If we get back and they want the next packet, then we can fill that window, send it. If they want this next packet, as long as we're not getting any errors, we can increase the window size. If we get some errors, we decrease the window size in terms of what we're sending before we check it for TCP. We talked a little bit about multiplexing. You can have one pipe and you can divide up the information going through that. There's time multiplexing, and there's a couple different ways of doing that. We talked about the brick and tile building, or the old AT&T building, CLTEL, brick and tile, and then they send the information through a pipe down to some tier 1 providers. I also talked about DSLAM, DSL, digital subscriber line, asynchronous multiplexing. So we have what they refer to as a DSLAM. I reviewed again, showed neighbors, and that is it.